Ads only work if people trust them. That's it. You can have the best creative, the sharpest copy, and even AI powered targeting. But if your audience doesn't trust you, the brain simply tunes out. Today we are decoding the brain science that makes ads persuasive. We'll explore why trust drives ad performance, how neuroscience explains what happens in the consumer mind, real campaigns that got it right, and how you can apply all of this to your ad strategy for 2026. Let's dive into how the mind decides to trust, click, and convert. Why trust drives ad performance? In digital advertising, trust is the invisible currency that determines whether an ad works or fails. When a person sees an ad, the brain immediately begins assessing three things. Is this relevant to me? Is this credible? Is it safe to engage? If the brain senses risk, inconsistency, or manipulation, the ad is filtered out before conscious awareness. Studies show that over 70% of consumers skip ads they find untrustworthy or intrusive. In 2025, a survey by HubSpot revealed that ads with high brand trust generate 2.3 times more conversions than those with neutral or low trust perception. Now, why is this so critical in 2026? Because audiences are smarter and algorithms are more invasive. AI tracks preferences, purchase patterns, and even emotions. When consumers realize they are being tracked, it triggers what psychologists call the reactance response, a subconscious resistance to persuasion. The takeaway: in a world dominated by personalization and automation, human trust is the final frontier of competitive advantage. So, what's happening in the brain when people decide to trust an ad? Brain science principles applied to marketing. Let's unpack the neuroscience behind trust. The emotional brain leads. Neuroscientists at Harvard found that 95% of purchase decisions happen subconsciously, driven by emotion before logic. The emotional brain, or the limbic system, evaluates cues like tone, color, and authenticity before the rational brain even processes the message. That's why ads that make people feel something perform better than those that just explain features. For example, Apple's privacy, that's iPhone, campaign didn't talk specs, it evoked a sense of safety and control. Emotion built trust before logic did. The brain's trust filter. Our brains have an internal credibility scanner. When we encounter an ad, the amygdala quickly assesses threat or safety. If it detects exaggeration, inconsistency, or artificiality, it suppresses the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational engagement. In simple terms, if an ad feels fake, the brain blocks it out. Neuroscience imaging confirms this. In fMRI scans, ads with genuine testimonials and human faces triggered higher activation in the medial prefrontal cortex, associated with empathy and social connection. Ads with stock images and jargon triggered no such response. C. Memory encoding and attention. Every ad competes for a scarce resource, attention. Neuroscience tells us that our brains decide in about 3 seconds whether to engage or skip. Ads that use novelty, visual contrast, and emotionally congruent soundtracks activate the dopamine reward circuit, making the content more memorable. For example, Coca-Cola's Open Happiness series showed not just a product but shared joy. The brain tagged that ad as a reward experience. Dopamine increases recall and positive association. The power of consistency and social proof. Humans trust what feels familiar. Psychologically, this is called the mere exposure effect repeated. Consistent cues increase credibility. Combine that with social proof, and you have a trust amplifier. When people see others endorse or use a brand, their brain's risk response lowers. That's why platforms like Amazon display ratings front and center. A 2025 report by Nielsen showed ads featuring real customer stories increased purchase intent by 34%. Talking about AI, transparency, and ethical signals. AI has revolutionized ad targeting, but it's also challenged trust. Consumers now expect transparency about how their data is used. When brands explain why an ad appears, trust rises. For example, Spotify's AI campaigns now say, because you liked lo-fi beats, here's something new. That small disclosure triggers comfort and control, two powerful trust signals. A 2025 meta study showed that AI personalized ads with clear context outperformed generic AI ads by 41% in engagement. Finally, the story effect. Stories synchronize neural activity between the storyteller and the listener. This is called neural coupling. When you tell a story, the listener's brain mirrors yours, building empathy, memory, and trust simultaneously. That's why brand storytelling isn't fluff, it's neuroscience in action. Let us dive deep into examples of high trust campaigns. Let's bring these principles to life. Let us start with Dove's Real Beauty campaign's example. Dove used authentic, diverse storytelling backed by neuroscience testing. They measured emotional response and found that trust scores rose 33% when women saw relatable faces instead of models. The campaign increased brand perception and sales by hundreds of millions globally. Example 2. PayPal with their new money campaign, PayPal tested ad variations using neuromarketing. The version that highlighted security and ease of use activated higher reward and trust centers in the brain, increasing engagement by 20%. Exploring example 3, with AI driven contextual ads, in 2025, Netflix used AI to test localized ad trailers. Instead of showing random content, AI generated ads relevant to the user's country, language, and viewing style. These context aware ads achieved a 45% higher click through rate because users perceived them as helpful, not invasive. Finally, Patagonia's Don't Buy This Jacket, a counterintuitive campaign. By asking consumers to think before buying, Patagonia tapped into ethical trust. It triggered the prefrontal cortex associated with moral reasoning. Sales still went up. The lesson: trust isn't just persuasion, it's alignment with values. Let us now talk about how to implement trust in your ad strategy. Practically, here's how you can apply brain science to your campaigns. Step 1. Audit trust signals. Ask these questions. 1. Does your creative show authenticity and consistency? 2. Does your tone sound human, not mechanical? 3. Does your ad's landing page fulfill its promise? Misalignment between ad and post-click experience is the number one trust killer in digital campaigns. Step 2. Build emotion into every creative. Start with emotion. Anchor every message in a feeling safety, joy, belonging, empowerment. Visuals, colors, and copy should reinforce one consistent emotional tone. Step 3. Use AI transparently. AI can personalize ads, but don't hide the fact. Let users know why they're seeing your content. Example: you viewed hiking gear. Here's a guide we curated for you. Transparency builds familiarity and reduces the algorithmic creep effect. Step 4. Leverage social proof and human cues. Use authentic reviews, user generated content, and real faces. People trust people more than pixels. Step 5. Prioritize contextual placement. Context is the new targeting. A 2025 report by Integral Ad Science found that ads appearing in contextually relevant environments boost purchase intent by 46%. Avoid spammy placements. Your ad's neighborhood affects its perceived credibility. Step 6. Measure trust metrics. Don't just track CTRs and conversions. Add trust indicators. 1. Sentiment analysis. 2. Brand recall. 3. View through rates. 4. Feedback on data transparency. AI analytics tools like Neuroinsight and Realize can now measure emotional resonance and trust in real time. Step 7. Train AI to respect human values. As AI handles more creative and targeting, marketers must design ethical frameworks. Consumers reward brands that demonstrate responsibility. A Deloitte 2025 study found that brands rated as AI responsible saw 19% higher ad recall. Step 8. Tailor trust. Building story always connect your ad message to a larger narrative purpose, mission, or human benefit. Stories create coherence and emotional safety, which the brain interprets as trustworthiness. Let's wrap this up. In 2025, digital ads are no longer about who spends the most. They're about who earns the most trust. Trust isn't a soft skill, it's hard science. It's measurable, neurological, and behavioral. When your ad passes the brain's trust filter, engages emotion, and aligns with user values, the conversion follows naturally. So use AI wisely. Stay transparent. Anchor your strategy in brain science. Because the brands that win tomorrow are the ones consumers trust today.